Hello, welcome everyone to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name is Mo and this is my channel FPL Inklink. Today I'm going to be going through set piece specialists, set piece takers for this FPL season 2021-2022. Now before we get cracking with the content, just going to go through a bit of formalities. If you've been here before and you've come back, thank you very much. And if this is your first time to my channel, I want to welcome you with open arms. Thank you for clicking onto my video and viewing my content. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you want to get the latest notifications for the content I release, then all you need to do is hit that notifications bell icon and you'll be notified as soon as I release any content on FPL. So now that the formalities are done, let's get on to the set piece specialist. So we'll go through club by club guide. I'll go through the players that are going to be listed so far by the game itself, who are going to be the set piece takers. That's going to be penalties, corners and free kicks as well. Start with Arsenal. So in penalties we have Aubameyang, so the club captain, at the moment owned by 3.5% of managers, priced at 10 mil. I think that's a fair price. He's gone back as a striker this season, which is quite friendly as well. So when he has been a striker, in the full seasons, he got 200 points plus. But last season, he was a midfielder. I don't know whether that's a jinx on him or he's just been out of form. I think I would expect better from him this season. He might not get the 200 points, but I think maybe around the 160 mark. Got a pretty friendly start, to be fair, barring Chelsea, Man City in game week 2 and 3. Brentford in game week 1. Norwich, Burnley, 4 and 5. Tottenham in 6. And then he's got Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. So respectively, barring 3 difficult games in the first 9 game weeks, I think. On paper, I think Arsenal should have a good start. And if he gets off to a fiery start, being on penalties, Arsenal, they win set pieces. It'll be worth having him in regards to that. Obviously, they've got Lacazette as well, who takes penalties. Pepe as well. But I think got Pepe's is on free kicks as well. 7.5 million price. So for me, I've been keeping an eye out for Pepe himself. Last season, near the end, he came really good. 10 goals, 3 assists. 114 points, guys, last season, which, doesn't sound much. But for the time he played on the pitch and, the kind of impact he did have in the last part of the season for Arsenal, with someone being on free kicks and penalties if Aubameyang's not playing, which obviously won't be that often, but that's nice to know that you have that option for him if he's on the pitch to take a free kick or a penalty. Direct free kicks, Xhaka, I don't think he's going to be there any longer. Probably will move on. I think it's pretty much nailed on. Willian, Lacazette's on penalties. Free kicks. So free kicks, it kind of doesn't really matter. I don't think Arsenal have a specialist in it as well, but I think Saka's listed on there. And I think, he's an up-and-coming talent, 6.5 mil in price. He did get 5 goals, 5 assists, and if he can really improve his set-piece quality, he would definitely become such a better and a more kind of wanted asset in FPL itself. So these are the kind of set piece takers for Arsenal, guys. Let's now move on to Aston Villa. Now, in terms of Aston Villa, last season, Dean Smith confirmed that after game week 12, when they won over Wolves, that Anwar El Ghazi was their first choice for penalties, with Jack Grealish next in line. Even though Ollie Watkins had taken the first 2 spot kicks of the season, I think he missed one of them or 2 of them, I'm not too sure. But I know that he missed the second one, which caused them to change to El Ghazi. So penalty taker is going to be Anwar El Ghazi, 6 million price. He only played 1,604 minutes last season, so he's not like a week in, week out player. 10 goals, and obviously most of them would have been the penalties itself. So is that someone who I'd look at? Potentially not. I do believe that there are better options elsewhere. Even Buendia for 6.5, he's not listed as a penalty taker, but I'd rather be more tempted to have him in my squad. Grealish, as is mentioned, he's on free kicks. He probably can take a corner, and he's on penalties as well as number 2. 8 million price, 37% in ownership at the moment. And he got 135 points last season, guys. And there's obviously Ollie Watkins on there as well. For direct free kicks, you got Traore, Bertrand Traore, who had a really good season last season. Played over 2,300 minutes, 7 goals, 7 assists. Only owned by 2.1% of managers. So, he could be a good differential to have in your squad as well. El Ghazi again in free kicks as well, and corners and indirect. So El Ghazi is pretty much everywhere in terms of set pieces, but again, it's all about the minutes if he will get them at all. Now, we don't have much stats to go through for Brentford because they've just come up to the Premier League this season. But we've got Ivan Toney, who got the most goals last season, I think, in the Championship with 33 goals and 10 assists. Owned by 35% of managers, 6.5 million price. He's on penalties itself, followed by De Silva. And now from here, what I can generally see is, it's just going to be Jensen on direct free kicks. Matthias Jensen, direct free kicks. He's worth 5 mil, and corners and indirect free kicks as well. It's Matthias Jensen. So those are the kind of players to look out for, guys, from Brentford. Brighton, it's Pascal Gross, who's on penalties and free kicks and indirect free kicks. You've got Welbeck as well, who plays on there as well. Trossard, pretty much on free kicks and direct free kicks as well. So those are kind of the players you will kind of consider. Graham Potter, after game week 11 against Southampton, said that Pascal Gross had earned the responsibility to take their penalties. Mopai had taken the first 3 spot kicks of the season. I think he missed a few as well. Gross and Welbeck both missed from the spot in game week 27, with Neil Mopai was still on the pitch as well. So Mopai pretty much isn't going to be on set pieces, I think, for penalties, guys. Gross or Welbeck will be. Now, in terms of Gross, 116 points, 3 goals, 8 assists, 6 mil. Are there better options elsewhere? For me, I think there will be for 6 mil. Jack Harrison for sure, from Leeds itself. Let's move on to Burnley now. Chris Wood for penalties, pretty much nailed on. We know he'll take them as well. 3% of managers own him at the moment. 7 million price. Got 12 goals, 3 assists last season with 138 points. Chris Wood has revealed that he and Ashley Barnes take penalties that they win themselves. So if Wood wins it, he'll take it, and if Ashley Barnes wins it, he'll take his. Rodriguez scored from the spot in Burnley's FA Cup win over Fulham in January, with Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes on the pitch. So you can see that Rodriguez has taken one as well. But in terms of direct free kicks, you've got Westwood, Brownhill for corners and indirect free kicks as well. So Burnley not really set piece specialists, so I wouldn't dwell too much around it. Chelsea, Jorginho's on penalty, so Tuchel confirmed that with a win over Spurs in game week 21 that Jorginho and Mason Mount were his 2 penalty takers. Jorginho has taken all but one of the Chelsea spot kicks in 2021-22 season. That's what I think made him kind of like the joint top goal scorer with 7 goals. You got Timo Werner, Olivier Giroud have both taken penalties in cup competitions as well. So you got Mount, Werner, Giroud, Jorginho. If you look at Mount, he got 6 goals and 7 assists, 147 points last season. Direct free kicks, Mount. Indirect free kicks, corners, Mason Mount. Alonso, James, Chilwell and Havertz are kind of like the other specialists that I'll really look at. But if you look at generally kind of like person who's involved most with like kind of set pieces, it's Mason Mount in terms of penalties, direct free kicks and corners. For Chelsea, Crystal Palace for penalties, Milivojevic. He only got 1 goal, 1 assist last season. I wouldn't really look at him much at 5.5 mil. You got Zaha. He took one against Manchester United. After I can't remember who missed the first one. Was it Ayew? I think who missed the first one. And then you've also got Jordan Ayew, who's on spot kicks as well. Milivojevic takes direct free kicks. Eze takes corners and direct free kicks, and Milivojevic can take indirect free kicks with corners as well. So for me, if I was going to look for someone from Crystal Palace, then I'll definitely look at Zaha and Eze for sure when he is fit. Moving on to Everton, penalty specialists, we have Gylfi Sigurdsson. Now Sigurdsson's got an absolute beautiful foot in a free kick, but penalties he's not too bad either. There's Richarlison as well, who used to be kind of like the main taker, but if Sigurdsson's on the pitch, he will take him. Sigurdsson will take free kicks as well. You've got James Rodriguez, who's a specialist at free kicks, and you've got Lucas Digne as well. Corners and indirect free kicks, you've got James, Sigurdsson and Digne. So for me, if I was looking at kind of set piece specialists from Everton to start off the season, now, as I do believe they have the best fixtures, I'll definitely look at Sigurdsson if he gets the minutes. James Rodriguez and Digne, these are the 3 players that I would definitely consider as set piece specialists from Everton themselves. Moving on to Leeds, penalties, Bamford, if he's on the pitch, he'll take them. Took most of them last season itself. Klitsch began the season as Leeds' first choice penalty taker, but Patrick Bamford stepped up in game week 15, following on an initial missed attempt from Klitsch in game week 12. So Klitsch took those ones brilliantly, but Bamford it is now who's been taking them. Direct free kicks, you've got Rafinha, Phillips and Rodrigo. And then indirect free kicks, you've got Dallas, Rafinha, Phillips and Klitsch. So if you ask me generally, it's probably going to be Bamford, Rafinha, and maybe Phillips as well, who's going to be involved in most of the set pieces for Leeds. Leicester, Jamie Vardy, always been a designated penalty taker. It says Iogo Perez, but it was actually Youri Tielemans who took the penalties last season when he wasn't on the pitch. Iheanacho, I think, took a penalty as well last season when Vardy wasn't on the pitch either. But direct free kicks, you got Maddison, Tielemans and Perez. And corners and indirect free kicks, you got Tielemans, Maddison, Albrighton and Perez. So generally, if I was to look at it, it's probably going to be Iheanacho, Vardy, Tielemans, maybe Maddison for direct free kicks, who I'd keep an eye out from Leicester for set pieces and goal threats. Liverpool, penalties, Milner, Salah. Salah pretty much takes most of the penalties as Milner isn't first choice. You've got Mane and Firmino listed as well, but Salah's pretty much nailed on for that one. That's pretty much what helps him get to the 22 goals mark this season as well. But direct free kicks, you've got Alexander-Arnold, Salah, Shaqiri, Robertson, Alexandra for indirect corners and free kicks. So if I was going to look at three players from here, Liverpool, who are kind of like set piece takers and specialists for me, it's going to be definitely Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. For Manchester City, penalties, it's Mahrez, who's listed as number one. KDB has taken all of Manchester City's Premier League penalties, which has been fit and available, but Mahrez stepped up to take one in the Champions League tie against Borussia Dortmund in April, a match that also featured Kevin De Bruyne. Raheem Sterling and Ilkay Gundogan took penalties in Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero's absences, but both missed. Rodri scored a spot kick in 24, but his manager later said that the midfielder wasn't his first choice. So I think through all this, I think it's either going to be De Bruyne or Mahrez, because Aguero has gone now. Free kicks is De Bruyne. He absolutely loves whipping them in. Direct, indirect free kicks, De Bruyne, Foden and Mahrez. So if I looked at top three for these guys in terms of Man City's for set piece specialists, De Bruyne number one, Mahrez followed in at second, and number three I'd consider probably Raheem Sterling if he's on the pitch. Manchester United, so the specialist at penalties, it's Bruno Fernandes. That's why he's got around 18 goals and even 14 assists for winning them as well. 12 million price, and that's why he's owned so highly by managers. And he does take direct free kicks and indirect free kicks and corners. Rashford takes penalties as well with Pogba as well. If you were to ask me in terms of free kicks as well, you've got Shaw, Greenwood, Tellez. And direct free kicks, you've got like Rashford, Pogba and Fred. So if I was going to choose a top three here, guys, it's definitely going to be Bruno Fernandes at number one, Rashford number two, and Luke Shaw at number three for Manchester United in terms of set-piece specialists and set-piece takers. Moving on to Newcastle, definitely it's going to be Callum Wilson for penalties. I'm not going to look at anyone else. Literally likes to spot kick and will finish it off. That helped him toward the 12 goals he scored last season. You also got John Joe Shelvey for direct free kicks, and I've definitely seen Matt Ritchie take a few as well. Corners, you've got Matt Ritchie, Fraser. So if you were to ask me the top three guys, it's definitely going to be Wilson for penalties, Shelvey for free kicks and corners, and probably Fraser for direct free kicks as well. Moving on to Norwich, Timo Pukki took penalties last time they were in the Premier League, and I think that's pretty much going to be remaining the same this season. Dowell's on direct free kicks and corners as well. So if you're going to ask me, guys, who I choose out of the Norwich, I don't really know much about. I choose Pukki and Dowell from what I can see. In terms of Dowell, he's only 5.5 mil, and he's only owned by 0.2% of managers. So will he get a few assists? You never know. Southampton, Danny Ings is always on penalties when he's on the pitch. If he's not, then Ward-Prowse has covered for him last season, and he scored against Man City as well. 8.1% in ownership at the moment. So Ward-Prowse pretty much is kind of like the set-piece specialist for Southampton from them, and Ings on penalties. Spurs at the moment, obviously Harry Kane is going to be the penalty specialist, followed by Son second, but will he be still at Man City next season? We won't know. He also takes free kicks. In terms of direct free kicks, you've got Eric Dyer, Son as well. Corners and indirect free kicks, you got Lamella, Son, and Lo Celso. So for me, Kane number one, Son number two, and at number three, I'll probably have Eric Lamella, sorry, when he's on the pitch itself. It's like a tongue twister there for me. Watford, Troy Deeney's on penalties again. He was on it last time when he was in the league itself. But I think, for direct free kicks, Thomas Cleverley is someone who does take those with corners and indirect free kicks as well. So it's only 5 mil, owned by 0.2% of managers. So is it worth getting him in? We shall wait and see. So for me, Deeney and Cleverley are going to be really good and worth looking out for. I've heard some good things about Chalobah as well. He's 5 mil in price, so let's see if he can replicate that in the league here. Penalties for West Ham. Regular taker was Mark Noble, wasn't on the pitch in 2020-21. West Ham ordered a penalty. Declan Rice scored from the spot in 24, with Jesse Lingard missing in 27. Rice confirmed that later fixture he was definitely still on penalties. Jesse Lingard scored a penalty in game week 32 with both Declan Rice and Mark Noble off the field. So, at the moment, it looks like Declan Rice is the delegated penalty taker for West Ham, followed by Antonio, but it depends on whether Noble gets the minutes. Cresswell's direct free kicks, indirect free kicks, and corners as well. And then you've got Rice around there as well. So if you had to ask me, guys, who are kind of like the main takers, Cresswell and Rice are going to be like who's they're going to play the most minutes. They are West Ham set piece specialists for me at the moment. If you go for Wolves penalties, Jimenez, he'll be coming back from a brain hemorrhage, a real serious brain injury. Let's see how he fares out, but he's on penalties. He's an absolute quality penalty taker. Ruben Neves, will he stay at Wolves or will he go to Arsenal? Still yet to be seen, but he does take a good free kick as well. Followed by Fabio Silva, but I don't think he'll probably get a chance for penalties. Free kicks again, Neves, he's on indirect free kicks and corners as well, and Pedro Neto, as well, who's on free kicks as well. So I'd go Jimenez followed by Neves and then Neto. And even Moutinho, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's been pretty good as well. So those are the set pieces takers for me that I've explained to you guys today. Those are the specialists that have been listed by the game itself. Now that can change with new signings coming into the game, but this is how you should actually kind of make your squad and your drafts, guys. Is these are the guys that are going to get you guys the big points. So if you do choose kind of like the budget options or the kind of like not so premium options, consider this draft, consider these players. These will help you kind of boost your points from the players that help you kind of balance your squad out. You don't really want to go for too much players who are too cheap and don't really have any value in terms of set pieces, because that is from the assists and goals where you can really drive up your points, bonus points, and your overall score for your FPL team. So this is my video on the set piece takers, guys. Let me know what your thoughts were. Did you like the video? Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you liked the content as well and grow this channel. Enter the league code in to join the league itself on FPL and hit that notifications bell icon to get the latest notifications of my videos. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely one and I'll see you guys soon.